What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me doing the beginner's guide for 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. In this video, guys, we're going to be describing all the game modes in the game so that you guys know what to be doing as a beginner in Grand Cross. So before we actually hop into the video and discuss all this stuff, definitely make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you guys like content like this, I do be posting a ton of stuff like this on the channel all the time, either new player friendly content, veteran content, you know, PvP, PvE, all that good stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you guys like that type of stuff. And with that out of the way, guys, we're going to be covering all the content in the game. Let's start with the daily tasks. Alright, guys, one more thing I wanted to add for the video here. If you guys need to know anything specific here, I'll have all the timestamps for every single part in the video for whatever content you're trying to do and what you need to really know about it as a beginner. I'll have all the timestamps linked in the description and in the pinned comments so you guys have access to that. And I just wanted to add that at the beginning. Enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, guys, so for the daily task here, you're going to go to your quest section, and when you go to the daily task, this is what it's going to show you. So as you guys can see, I've already cleared all my daily tasks for the day, and there are many of them that you can do. So early on as a new player, you probably won't have all the exact ones that I do because your dailies are based on your story progression. So depending on where you are in the story, you're going to have different dailies from me, and by the time you get to around, I think it's like episode, not even an episode, probably like chapter like 15 plus, you'll probably have the same exact dailies as me, probably around that like period, right? But yeah, guys, so you have your clear Fort Solgres, so you're just gonna do that. We're gonna talk about all these game modes when we get to them, but there's, you know, as an example, like clear Fort Solgres, clear free stage, enhance equipment, cooking, right? There's a lot of things in the dailies that you're gonna be doing, and a lot of them are gonna be able to be accessed through the battle tab, which you guys see on the bottom right here. You're gonna click on the battle tab, and this is gonna cover all the content in Grand Cross. So what we're gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna briefly describe each content from the battle tab and explain what you guys need to know about it as a beginner. So for the first one here, guys, we got Fort Solgres. So Fort Solgres is going to be the dungeon where you're able to farm for your books, your enhanced potions, your gold, and your SSR pendants. That's going to be the main reason for you to actually go to Fort Solgres. If you go to the gold dungeon here, self-explanatory, guys, you're going to be getting gold, right? It's just like how the evolved dungeon is going to be giving you the evolution books, right? So you get the evolution books depending on the type. You can actually change the type to whichever one you want as well. You have the blue ones, the red ones, and the green ones. And the enhanced potions are just going to be based on the enemy you fight. So you are going to get the exact same enhanced potions. There's no like red, green, and blue enhanced potions. They're all the same. But depending on the stage, it could be a faster farming method or it could be worse, right? So this is pretty much it though. You get your enhanced potions here, you get your books here, and then you get your gold from here. With the special section of Fort Solgres, there's a lot to actually cover with Fort Solgres special. You have the battle events, which are going to be little mini events that come through every single update. You know, they have like a new battle event. Honestly, I don't do these myself personally, but there are some stuff you can gain from it, like these SR pendants. And if you actually look on the rewards for some of them, they can actually give you main clear rewards being like SSR pendants, SA coins, stamina potions, anvils, stuff like that. You'll be getting them through possibly the battle event. So there's that. And then the next thing, guys, is going to be the Saurus Spire. So this is going to be your main way of acquiring SSR pendants. So you guys can see here that SSR pendants are at a 4% drop rate from this actual, from the stage right here. And if you actually go to the pity bar, you can see that once you get to 100% on the pity bar, you're going to be getting one guaranteed SSR pendant as well. So that is like one of the main locations you're going to be going every single day. And this stamina right here for Saurus Spire is actually exclusive to it. So you're only going to be able to do, I think it's what, 3 of these per day, because it's 24 hours. You get 8 hours, you get 1. So every 8 hours you get 1. So it's going to be, yeah, like a pretty much a full day, 24 hours, you get 3. Right, so throughout the day, you're going to get some of these. You're just going to go to Saurus Spire and you're going to clear the highest difficulty one if possible. And yeah, guys, that pretty much covers the general basis of SP Dungeon Fort Solgres. There is some stages here which are going to be kind of the later game stages right here. I'll briefly describe them though. You have the Anvil Dungeon, the SA Coin Dungeon, the Clock Tower of Chaos, so it's going to be the Chaos of Constellation Dungeon, which is super endgame. I honestly haven't even touched this one yet, so don't mind this one. And then these are going to be for the specific coins you guys have. So if you have SSR coin, gold coin, or art coin, these are going to be the dungeons for them as well. So kind of late game stuff, guys. I wouldn't really, delve into this stuff early game. But this is going to be where you're going to be able to access anvils, SA coins, the chaos of constellation stuff, and then some extra rewards from these ones. So nothing too crazy. But if you guys are looking for these items, you will get them from here. And in terms of the stamina for the time limit dungeon keys, you will be getting one of these every other week. So every other week you're going to be getting one of these, and then when we get to training dungeon, we'll kind of talk about it. You get a every other week that's not on the week you get the time limit dungeon key, you'll be getting the training dungeon key, which we'll talk about when we get to that. All right, guys, so that covers special dungeon Fort Solgres right there. Let's move on to the patrol section of the game right here. And so patrol is going to be your standard dispatch, guys. It's just going to be, you set some characters out, you're going to complete, and you're going to get some rewards as well. So right here, I already kind of set them out, but pretty much how it works, like I'll cancel one just to kind of show you guys what it looks like. But you're gonna press dispatch. It's gonna give you the option of like what characters you can send, and you can auto set dispatch as well, and it's gonna put the highest combat class characters for you to dispatch. And the main reason you would be wanting to do patrol right here is so you're able to get skip tickets, which can definitely be super beneficial for your account if you don't want to be manually farming all the content. Having skip tickets here is really nice. My main account has a lot of them, so don't mind me. But yeah, pretty much every day you're gonna get this. And right now, because of the anniversary event we're in right now, we are getting double skip tickets. So usually you only get one, but you do get skip tickets, and then you do get some pieces of gear as well, which will be accessible. And then the top of the patrol section here, guys, is going to be the constant patrol, which comes with some extra stuff here you guys can see. So you either get gold enhanced stones or hero enhanced potions, and this is going to actually increase the amount of time you wait for it. So the longer you wait, the more rewards of each of them you could claim if you want. So you'd have to like select one of the three. So usually I like to go gold, but if you do need enhanced stones or you do need enhanced potions, go for those as well. So that is going to be the patrol section right there. Moving on, guys, we got boss battle right here. Boss battle is going to be pretty important in the game depending on the resources you need for limit breaking your characters. When you're leveling up characters in Grand Cross, you're going to be needing the demon materials to actually level them up. As an example, we'll go to one of my characters here and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean when you are limit breaking your characters. So just as an example, like my Fraudulent right here, if I was to limit break them, it's going to require me to get these red demon horns, and this is going to be where you actually do it in the boss battle section. So let's actually go back to boss battle, and we'll kind of talk about how you're able to spawn the the bosses. So in boss battle here, guys, you can see that there are 6 different stages you can actually do, and depending on the difficulty you do them at, you can actually force spawn either some of them, and then other demons you have to use through specific characters. So on the hell difficulty, you guys can see right here, it says demonic beast Belmoth 3 times per day is going to be the top 3 section right here. So the top 3 of the deathmatch locations on hell difficulty, you're going to fight the Belmoth demon. On the bottom here, you're going to see that this is going to be the original demon. So you're going to fight that 3 times down here. So the original demon on the bottom, and then on the top is going to be Belmos. Now for the regular boss battles themselves, it's actually going to be random between one of the 3 right here, being the red demon, the gray demon, or the Howlick / Crimson demon. So whenever you're clearing any of these stages, you're going to get a random spawn of one of these demons, and then you clear that, you get the rewards, and that's going to be pretty much that. So yeah, these demons right here, you can actually force spawn them as well, kind of like the hell ones, but you do need specific characters and cosmetics, so I won't really delve into that in this video. There's other videos I've made on the channel kind of talking about how to force spawn demons and pretty much everything you need to know about it, but briefly I'll kind of explain. You have the green demon Meliodas, the red Elizabeth, and then I think the blue Jericho. So those 3 characters are the new legend variants of those characters, and with their outfits you're able to force spawn the demons respectively with their typing. So I think Jericho, you spawn the gray demon because the gray demon is blue, the red demon you spawn the from Elizabeth, and then the crimson demon you spawn from Meliodas because he is a green demon Meliodas. Right, so that's pretty much how that works, and that kind of covers the boss battles right there, guys. Early on, as a player on the game though, you want to actually be farming boss battle because there's a lot of rewards you can get. There's some runes, there's some demon bloods, and water of lives, which awakening characters is going to be super beneficial early on, and then all the awakening mats as well. So this is a really good time sink, especially when it's on half stamina. When it's not on half stamina, I wouldn't really recommend it, but this is something you can definitely do. So that is going to be the boss battle section right there. Moving on, guys, we got the equipment section of the battle area. So what's gonna happen here for the equipment section is that if you guys are trying to farm gear for your characters, depending on the gear you're going for, so let's say it's like, you know, attack gear, defense gear, HP gear, whatever you're really trying to farm for, this is how you're gonna do it. So you're gonna click start on the actual one you're trying to do. So let's say I want to farm some attack gear, right? I'm gonna click start on this right here, and it's gonna start the you know, the quest. And when you go to the quest, it's gonna send you to a free stage in the village where you can actually farm for that piece of gear. And the way that this equipment section works is that you're actually guaranteed to get a SSR piece of gear after clearing 8 times on this mission right here. So you guys can see 0 out of 8 times. When you clear 8 times, you actually get this reward guaranteed. And so what it's gonna do is that once you've cleared the 8 times, it's actually gonna let you do the other piece of gear that you might need. So I'm just gonna let it skip ticket here just so you guys can see as an example. And once we're done here, we can claim this reward, right? So we're gonna back out here, claim the reward. And when we actually claim this from our task right here, we're gonna claim it, and then it's gonna give us a new one instantly so that we can do this middle piece right here for another attack piece. And so this is how you're gonna farm your gear normally. You're just gonna go to these free stages, start up these quests, farm through the stages, do the 8 runs total, and then get your pieces of gear this way. It's pretty self-explanatory, nothing too much to really explain about it, and these are going to be through the free stages in the game. And free stages pretty much just drop like the gear. There is some awakening materials as well, and some free stages do drop food as well, which is not really too important early on, but pretty much food is just anything that can really benefit you in the game you can use. And there are like many benefits, like some being like attack, defense, HP, and then like life steal or like, you know, regeneration rate. There's food for like pretty much everything, so just, you know, bear that in mind. But mainly you're going to be doing the equipment farming through free stages right here. All right, guys, so the next thing we got is going to be the Knighthood boss. Now, Knighthood boss is not really a early game activity, but you do have access to Knighthood boss even if you're not in a guild. And the reason why Knighthood boss is so good is because later game it's going to be giving you a lot of really good rewards. Like, as you guys can see, you get some SSR pendants, assay coins, some anvils, and all these things are going to be really good later game where you do need these materials for either limit breaking, re-rolling gear, upgrading gear. They're all going to be through this this mode right here. And you can do the normal or hell difficulty, and I do make a guide pretty much every week going over the hell difficulty. So if you guys do need that, check out those videos every single week. On Sunday, I usually post them on Sunday. But depending on the day, you know, they actually come out, that's when I release it, and we just do a guide on the hell difficulty. But pretty much this is super endgame stuff. You don't really need to worry about it right now. Maybe only do the normal, hard, and extreme and try and get the normal rewards as much as you can. And if you're able to get 6k total and get all these rewards, that's going to be really good as a early game player. And with us talking about the Knighthood boss, guys, let's kind of talk about guilds for a second as well. This is going to be pretty brief, but pretty much the way guilds work, guys, you're going to click the check-in button, you're going to get your check-in, you get your gem for the day. As long as you have people in your guild checking in as well with you, you will be getting gems. And there's going to be Knighthood tasks as well. So, you know, as a group, you guys want to be clearing your Knighthood tasks to get these little like Knighthood coins, and then also Knighthood XP just to level up your Knighthood so that you guys get access to more things in the exchange shop, which if you go in your tavern right here and you actually talk to this guy right here, you will be able to actually exchange for some stuff from the Knighthood shop. So this is going to be the Knighthood shop right here, and you can see that these are like the recommended things. But if you go to purchase, depending on your Knighthood level, which will be on the left here, this is what items you can actually buy, right? So the higher the level, the better. So that's pretty much like Knighthood as in a gist. You know, there is also going to be another feature for Knighthood. Probably after this video, you guys will probably have seen this by now. There's going to be that activity feature. I don't know exactly how it works, but I think it's just players in your guild will just be like doing things, and as they're doing things in the game, it's going to be benefiting you as well. And it's, you know, vice versa for you and your teammates or your guild mates. You're going to be helping them out as well. So just playing the game and doing things in the game is going to be helping out other people too. So yeah, guys, and then in terms of the guild itself, you can have a total of 30 members, and as long as you guys get, I think it's 20 check-ins at the bare minimum, you will get the gem per day. If you get less than 20, you don't get a gem, you just get some like R chests for gold. But if you do get higher you know, like check-in amounts, you get a higher rarity of the chest for gold. So you can get like an SR chest, you get a UR chest, and that's going to give you more gold as well. But you always get 1 diamond no matter what. You don't get more than 1 diamond. So if you get 20 check-ins, that's fine. You're going to get the diamond, and that's pretty much that. Alright guys, moving on, we got the Creature's Nest Demonic Beast Battle. This is the next thing in the game that you guys probably won't be doing early on. This is definitely a later game activity, but pretty much what Demonic Beast Battle is the way to actually get Holy Relics in the game, and Holy Relics are going to be an additional passive for every character that has access to a Holy Relic. If you guys want to know what characters have Holy Relics, you can go on the Craft Holy Relics section here. It's going to actually show you what characters have Holy Relics and what the effect of the Holy Relic does. So the only way you get access to this, by the way, is by clearing the Ragnarok story. So that's going to be another story thing that you can actually do. And when you do clear Ragnarok, you're going to be able to have access to these Demonic Beast Battles so that you're able to farm up the Holy Relics. Now, one thing to take into account at the moment, at the time of recording this video right now, only 3 of the Demonic Beast Battles are farmable, whereas Knighthood right now is not farmable. In the future, it'll probably become farmable. You know, later in the future, you'll probably be able to do it. But right now, only Skull and Hadi, Eithirnir, and the Bird are able to be farmed at the moment. So if you guys are, you know, planning on farming them in the future, you will be able to farm these 3. And Knighthood, I wouldn't really worry about early game. Probably focus on the Bird or the Deer. These are the 2 that, you know, early game players can probably do. And I have a ton of videos going over like teams and the strategies and all of that, so check out the channel if you guys need anything about that. But I just kind of wanted to briefly discuss Demonic Beast Battle and the point of actually clearing for it. Alright guys, moving on, we got to the PvP section of the video. So PvP is just going to be a game mode in the game where you're able to face other players in Grand Cross. Now, if you go to the PvP area, the reason why PvP is super important as a early game player is because you want to get as high of a rank as you can in the ungeared PvP. So this is ungeared PvP right here. You're not going to be facing people with gear. You're ungeared completely. Your outfits do matter. Your dupes do count. And your box CC does count as well, and box CC we'll kind of talk about a little later. But pretty much this is going to be your combat class right here. This is going to be your team. You're able to eat like a dish. You can auto set a team, and yeah, it's going to tell you if there's PvP rules or not. It'll tell you them, I think, like right here. Usually it'll tell you the PvP rule, but at the moment there is no PvP rule in PvP at the moment. And when you actually are doing PvP in ungeared, guys, you are able to get gems. Now that's the main reason you want to do PvP, right? You know, every single week you're going to be getting a set amount of gems depending on where you rank. Now, for most people, especially free-to-play players getting into the game, getting to Champion 5 is your goal. If you can get to Champion 5, that's going to be 50 gems a week, and all you have to do is play PvP once per day. You just have to do once per day. Not even once per day, probably once per week. If you do once per week, you'll still be able to get these 50 gems, right? And it's just going to be a weekly thing. You log on, you do your PvP once, you hop off, 50 gems, no matter what. Once you get to Champion 5, you won't actually D-rank out of Champion 5. You will actually stay there and collect the 50 gems every single week. That's why Grand Cross is such a free-to-play friendly game, in that you get so much gems as long as you're playing consistently. And as you guys can see right here, I am in Champion 1, so I'm able to get 60 gems. But the difference between the ranks is that when you actually reach a rank like Champion, you actually cannot D-rank to the one below unless you don't play the game for like a month. I think it's like around a month not playing the game, you will actually D-rank. But other than that, you will stay in the rank you're in. So no matter what, at the bare minimum, you will stay in Champion 5. But every single week, I'm going to D-rank out of Champion 1 into Champion 2 and vice versa. So like if I'm in Champion 3, I go to 4. If I'm in 2, I go to 3. So that's pretty much how it goes. And that's why it incentivizes people to play so that they get to Champion 1 every single week for these 60 gems. So that pretty much covers like the ungeared PvP section, guys. And these boxes right here, they just give you some gear. So you get gems and you get gear every single week. And then if we actually go to the geared section of PvP, geared isn't really too important, but there is some notable things I do want to kind of talk about. When clearing geared PvP, you do get these coins right here, these festival coins, and these coins right here are going to be able to be used to exchange for some very important later game cards for artifact card sets, which you know, I don't know if I'm gonna really talk about in this video. It's kind of a later game thing, but you will be able to get them, and these cards are going to be very, very important later game. So, you know, bear in mind it's going to be something you probably want to be doing in the future, but you don't necessarily have to invest in it early on. Do not really worry about geared. Focus on ungeared PvP so you can get your gems so that you're able to summon on the banners more often, and just try and prioritize getting to the Champion 5 of PvP as fast as you can. Now, if you guys are wondering about like what teams are good in PvP and all of that, just keep up with the channel, man. Metas are obviously going to change, and right now the meta is kind of around demons and archangels, unknowns. You know, there's a lot of a mixture right now in terms of what's going on, and especially with Transcendent Bond releasing for this anniversary at least, we've had some more metas kind of shifting in as well. So, you know, depending on the time of the game, there's going to be different metas. Just kind of watch what YouTubers are running, see what people are using, and that's going to be how you kind of get an idea of who's good in PvP and you know, how you should build a team. And I've made multiple videos on how to build, you know, correct teams and all of that, so check out the channel, guys, if you need anything more in depth on that. But that's gonna cover the PvP section of the video. Alright guys, the next thing in the PvP area though that I have to mention is going to be Brawl. Brawl is not really a thing that a lot of people do because it is kind of just like, you know, it's just tedious, you know. Like, I personally don't do it myself just because it takes a while. But pretty much what you do is you go to the Droll right here in the PvP area, and this is how Brawl is going to work. It's pretty much just going to be AI PvP. You're going to set up your teams, they're going to fight other people, and when those teams auto beat another person, you're going to get these victory reward percentages, and then you get this little box right here that is a chance of dropping some pretty nice stuff. I mean, you know, SSR pendants, 6-star books, engraving stones, and all these things are pretty useful for a later game player, right? But the only thing that Brawl kind of sucks with is that it's a lengthy process to actually get into it, in that, you know, you're going to be having to make all your teams. You have to make 3 different teams, and it's not really a thing that I would recommend you do early on. This is definitely like a later game thing. But once you're able to make enough for 3 different teams, then I would say it's definitely worth investing in, because there is some rewards you can get here that is pretty good. And so every single day you're going to collect your Brawl rank reward, and you're going to go over to Gloxinia, and you're going to check the exchange shop, see what you have available here that you want to actually pick up. And there's a lot of things you can pick up, so you know, it should be, you know, pretty self-explanatory. You kind of just clear out the shop every time, and then you're actually going to be getting gems as well as you guys are going through these ranks. So depending on the amount of coins used will be the amount you actually gain. So let's say I use 6k coins right here. I'm at 10k. So we'll just buy 3 of these, and then we'll buy 3 of these as well. It's actually going to give us the gem right there because we did hit the victor rank right there. And once you hit the rank, it actually unlocks the next rank of items you're able to exchange for. So that's pretty much Brawl right there. Nothing too crazy, but it's definitely more of an end game thing. But you guys can definitely, you know, give it an attempt, you know, as an early game player once you've built 3 different teams that you can run as, like, you know, PvP based teams. Alright guys, now we are on the training dungeon right here. Now training dungeon is going to be the other type of item that I was mentioning when we were talking about the Fort Solgres. In Fort Solgres you get a time limit dungeon key every other week, and on the weeks you don't get the time limit dungeon key, you actually get this key right here, and it's going to be out of 10 right here for the training grotto. And so how it works is you're going to actually go in, and there's going to be multiple different teams you can actually use here to clear these fights. And I made a complete guide on training dungeon. This is definitely a thing that you wouldn't want to do instantly on the game because it's going to be a later game thing. But pretty much the way the activity works is you're going to have multiple different teams. You can only use the characters once, and once you've used them, you cannot use them again. So if I use this team right here and I skip to get clear this, you guys would obviously have to do this manually, but once you have unlocked it and got it 5-star, you will be able to skip ticket it. But pretty much how it's gonna go is you just go through here, you clear the fight, and when you clear the fight, you're not able to use the character, so you have to use a different team for the next one, and then you're gonna clear 3 fights total, and then you're gonna have to fight one of your own teams that you cleared with. So this is how it's gonna go. So I skip ticket this as well, and we'll go to the 3rd one here, and I'll just show you guys as an example how it works. So we skip ticket this one. Just remember kind of some of the characters here, guys, so that when we get to it, you'll understand. But when we get to this, you know, the gold amber right here, when you click on it, we're actually gonna fight one of the teams I used to skip ticket. So if we go to the opponent here, you guys can see it's the exact team I started with at the beginning, the Jormungand, Sariel, and Zeldris team. So that's pretty much how it goes, guys. That's training dungeon, and the rewards from it are going to be the hammers and anvils for, you know, increasing your gear substats and all of that. It's definitely a worthwhile activity. It's just a very, you know, drawn out and a long-term activity to actually do. It's a lot of time investment to actually clear for the 5-star, but once you clear for the 5-star, you're able to skip ticket it, and it becomes pretty easy to go through. So yeah, that's training dungeon right there. Alright guys, the next thing we got here in the battle section is going to be reverse stages. Reverse stages is definitely something you shouldn't start instantly. It's going to be a content that you want to do when you're kind of low on gems. You want to get some extra gems because this content's going to give you a lot of gems and some some SSR tickets as well. And pretty much the way the event works is going to be story mode, but on reverse. You're using the enemy characters that you were facing in the story as the characters to fight the good heroes. So in this fight right here, it's telling me I have to use Guild Thunder, Hauser, and Dreyfus to face Diane, because in the story, Diane faced these 3 characters, so you actually are using the villains, and that's how reverse stages work. It's a reverse. You're using the enemies to fight the good guys, and when you actually clear and you do the missions, you do get a guaranteed diamond per each clear, and as you guys can see here, depending on the amount of stars you get total, you will be getting gems, you'll be getting SSR tickets, and you can kind of stack all these up till you clear all the reverse stages. And I think at the moment, there's only 3 of them and then 1 special reverse stage section, but those are the only ones available at the moment, and possibly in the future we'll get more, but at the moment these are the main 4, and you just clear through them, get your gems. And yeah, this is definitely kind of later game because you need more characters in your box kind of built, but once you have the characters built and you can attempt it, definitely give reverse stages a try. There's a lot of gems you can actually get out of this. Alright guys, moving on, we got the Tower of Trials. Now Tower of Trials will probably be gone kind of later in the future if you guys are watching this video, but Tower of Trials was something that Grand Cross added where you were able to actually clear a stage here, and once you clear the stage, you don't need to clear the stage ever again, because you get the rewards once and you're done. So this is a content that Grand Cross has at the moment and will probably be leaving in the future. The only time they ever reset Tower of Trials was during the Trader Melee New Year's celebration, which I think was like a year or 2 ago. And when that actually happened, they did reset it from the floor 12 and under, and so these were actually available to redo, but since then they said that they weren't actually going to reset them and they're only going to be a one-time thing. So that is the Tower of Trials right there. I've made guides on every single stage of the Tower of Trials, so if you guys still have this available and you need to know what to do, definitely check out those videos, and let's move on to the next subject. Alright guys, so the next thing we got going on here is going to be the World Tree Tower. This is going to be related to the Ragnarok as well, which is like the story we were talking about for Demonic Beast. When you actually go to Ragnarok World Tree Tower right here, this is going to be where you're able to get some extra rewards, like SSR pendants, Super Awakening coins, hammers, and all that other stuff right there, guys. You also do get these like little card packs for the artifact card sets, which can be very useful, and you do get the materials for Demonic Beast holy relics, so you can actually craft them as well, because you're going to be getting a daily count of 5 of these, 10 of these, so you get 50 every single week because of the period count. But you can buy 5 of these all the time whenever you do it, and there's only at the moment Earth and Heavens open, and these are going to be available so that you guys can actually exchange for these stuff and build your holy relics or upgrade some of your characters. So this is just some nice thing. It's going to have its own stamina as well. I think it's every 10 hours you get 1, if I'm not mistaken, and what you do is you go through these stages. They're not too difficult at all. Once you clear them, you do the highest difficulty. Make sure you are skip ticketing the highest difficulty for the most amount of the the memory fragments, so you get the most amount of these for the exchange shop. But that's going to be pretty much it. Depending on the one you do as well, you get some different rewards. This one has like awakening stones, chests, and like enhanced stones. And if you go to the memory of the earth, you're actually going to get some different rewards here, like evolution pendants, books, and like and yeah, they're pretty much just evolution pendants and books. And then yeah, the different memory fragments. So that's going to be available right there. So in the future, they might add a Memory of the Nether, but at the moment, there's only these 2 guys. So in the future, when they add the Memory of Nether, there'll probably be some desirable things to exchange in that exchange shop. But at the moment, since we only have these 2, that pretty much covers all of the World Tree Tower. Alright guys, so the next thing that I want to cover over here is going to be Final Boss. Final Boss is an event that does happen every once in a while. And what Final Boss is going to be an event where you bring a team and you actually fight a character to actually get an outfit for them that's going to be a pretty cool outfit. I'll show you guys an example of a Final Boss we actually had recently, which was Final Boss Chandler. If we actually go to the Demon Chandler in the game, they actually did give out a outfit for him, and I have access to it right here. This is the Final Boss outfit, which comes with a very special cut-in when you actually use him. So each Final Boss is going to have their own outfit, and it's going to come for a different character. And when you actually clear the Final Boss, you can grind up the outfits. There's going to be some other materials you can get as well. But at the moment, we do not have a Final Boss on global as of the time I'm recording this video, but is available every once in a while whenever they bring it through events. And it's going to be a way you're able to get some extra materials and also to get some outfits for some characters you might not have outfits for. Alright guys, and the final thing we have here in the battle section is going to be Heroes Arena. One thing to mention about Heroes Arena is that there's also another game mode that will be cycling through with Heroes Arena, and that's going to be Labyrinth. I will talk about that in a little bit, but Heroes Arena is very new and is a new event exclusive to the anniversary. We will be getting this rerunning in the future as well. As I said, it's going to be alternating between Labyrinth and Heroes Arena, but if we actually go to Heroes Arena, guys, pretty much the way this event works, it's going to be kind of an endgame activity, honestly, but you're going to need 3 different teams at the bare minimum. And how it works is that when you go through the Heroes Arena, you're going to be bringing your teams and you're going to be facing these kind of like Guild Wars teams. And what you do is you select one of the difficulties. You're gonna fight through a ton of different stages with your teams, and once you clear through it, you're gonna kill the enemy and you get a victory. And you want to make sure that you clear 3 total, which is gonna be at the bare minimum you use 3 teams. And some characters do get buffs as well. You know, once you clear through all, you get the rewards at the end. And the rewards for doing Heroes Arena is going to be the LR characters. At the moment, there's only 1 LR, but in the future we'll be getting like a ton more LRs. So this is definitely an end game activity, but something I wanted to mention, and maybe a reason why you might, you know, get back into Grand Cross, or you're hopping in because of a character like Lost Vein getting LR. But there are characters that are going to be getting this in the future, and so far at the moment only Lost Vein Meliodas has it, and so he is accessible to get through the at least the awakening for Lost Vein through Heroes Arena and also Labyrinth as well. Alright guys, in Labyrinth, I'll have a clip of Labyrinth on the screen for you guys, but pretty much the way it works is it's going to be a roguelike type game mode where you actually go through, you get buffs. You're actually not going to be using any of the characters in your box. You're actually going to be using characters given to you, and you're going to use those characters and go throughout the little stages so that you're able to clear to the end. The Labyrinth is also going to have an exchange shop. Most of the time it has a lot of just like, you know, limit break, level materials, all that kind of stuff right there. But sometimes they're actually going to add outfits, and also the devs have also mentioned that they will have the LR materials as well. So you will be able to get the LR materials from both Labyrinth and Heroes Arena, as they're going to be alternating out as events. So you'll either have Labyrinth though, or you'll have Heroes Arena, and you will be able to access those events at the bottom of the battle tab to be able to get LR materials or other limit break materials. Alright guys, now other than that, that's pretty much the main content in Grand Cross that you are able to do. I covered all the main content in the game. Now let's kind of cover some of the extra things that could come when you actually are playing the game. So if you click the top left right here, guys, you will see all the events. So it's going to tell you like Lucky Bag, Special, Hog Pass, you know, depending on what's out at the time, you will see a ton of events right here. And you can see as well that sometimes during like you know, a festival event or like an anniversary celebration, there will be like a little celebration tab where there's like all the content you can do, and there's a ton of things you can do with some of the events right now, specifically during the 4th anniversary. But depending on the time you're playing Grand Cross, there will be different events able to be done so that you have something else to do other than your daily grind. And so other than events and your dailies, guys, you just want to be focusing on story early on. That's going to be the main thing you want to do. If you go to quests right here, the reason why story is so important is because you do get 30 gems per chapter, and once you clear through all the story chapters, you will have access to everything in the game where you're able to clear for content. And so once you've cleared all the way up to at least chapter 26, 27, that you'll I think you have access to everything at around like chapter 15. So if you clear like chapter 15, you should be good, and you should have access to pretty much everything in the game. But once you're around like here, this is where story is going to stop at the moment of recording this video. In the future, we'll probably have more story, and we will have other types of story as well. At the moment, we do have some other side stories. We have like Ragnarok right now. We have, you know, yeah, I think this one is the 7 Catastrophe story event that we have. So in the future, we will be getting more of these as well. And you do get 30 gems at the end of the chapter, which is pretty desirable for a player, you know, playing Grand Cross. Alright guys, so that is the beginner's guide right there for Grand Cross, covering all the content in the game and the brief description on what you need to know about it. If you guys need like guides on like building gear, or you know, managing characters, what banners to summon on, definitely check out the channel. I have a whole playlist on new player advice and what you need to be doing, so definitely check out that video if you guys need it. But this is going to be it for the beginner's guide. You know, this is a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comment section below if there's anything I missed that, you know, you can definitely help other people out with. You know, comment it down below, just as like a suggestion or like advice for someone if they're starting out Grand Cross new. But I hope this video is helpful, and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and have a great rest of your day.